Let's take a closer look at the presidential campaign. For that, we're joined by Philip Bump, political reporter for The Washington Post. Philip, good morning.
Good morning.
It's been quite a week.
As always, right?
It's been quite a year.
Just get more and more
It just keeps going. What do you make of Boehner's remarks this week, calling Ted Cruz Lucifer in the flesh? I mean, he's supposed to be the establishment alternative at this point, but clearly the establishment still doesn't like it.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that's exactly the point, right? I mean, Ted Cruz was a giant pain in John Boehner's neck when John Boehner was Speaker of the House. And I think John Boehner has been resentful ever since the government shut down. They were hoping that Ted Cruz could be the obstacle on the path of Donald Trump. It seems very clear now, especially after Donald Trump's big wins this week and last week, he's not going to be much of an obstacle. And so I think John Boehner kind of felt free to say, well, I don't like Ted Cruz, and so he could say what he wanted to say.
What about next week? Do you think Cruz has a chance of taking Indiana?
I think he does. I mean, I think it is a state where he should do well. He's trailing in the polls right now, and I think we're seeing some new strength from Donald Trump. I mean, he was supposed to do well in the Northeast. I think he did better than people expected. So it'll be interesting to see if that carries over. I also think there are a lot of people who are sort of like, let's just end this thing. And, you know, people are unwilling to go out and vote for Ted Cruz just because they want to get this thing over with. I don't know how that's going to play, but I think it's possible he could win. Yeah.
Will Mike Pence's endorsement make any difference in Indiana?
Well, it was not a super strong endorsement.
Yeah.
It was pretty tepid. You know, he's a relatively...
He's calling him Lucifer, though.
yeah, and that's the bar. He definitely beat that. So, yeah, maybe. I don't know it's going to make a big difference. I mean, people who vote for Donald Trump aren't establishment people, so they're not going to care what he says anyway. So.
Yeah.
We've talked so much about a contested convention.
Right.
Is this still a possibility?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to come down to, I mean, the reason everyone's in California now, it's the last big state to vote on June 7th, has a lot of delegates. You can win 3 delegates in each congressional district. It's really complex math, and it's unlikely Donald Trump will clinch the nomination before then. So, yeah, I think it still could happen.
Let's look at the Democratic race. Tone clearly seems to be changing now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that it has been a near mathematical certainty for a while now that Hillary Clinton was going to be the nominee. I think the Sanders campaign is starting to adjust the way that they're fighting and focusing more on shifting how the Democratic Party runs its races and what it stands for than actually trying to win the nomination.
Why has Bernie not dropped out?
I think that's exactly why. Right? I mean, it's, you know, keep in mind that he has been a Democrat essentially for a few months. Like, he's not a party guy. He is an independent that wants to shake things up. And I think that the reason he's not dropping out is because he wants to hold on to his delegates. He wants to go to convention. He wants to advocate with people backing him up for the things that he stands for.
And you've suggested, Phil, I think also that it might actually even be harder for him to drop out for his...
Yeah, I mean, I think that if he were to drop out now, his fans are so vociferous. They're so eager for him that I think he'd face so much outcry from his own people. It's actually kind of easier just to stay in.
We thought these weeks have been interesting. If it's Trump and Hillary, we'll have a lot of interesting things to talk about, right,
Yes.
Philip? Thank you so much.